Good morning again, 7th grade math. We're still working on lesson 3.4, multiplying rational numbers. We're on the guided practice. We're starting at number 11. I've already copied my numbers down. So this one's going to be kind of a two-parter. If you'll notice what they want to make sure that you understand what to put here and here. So let's start. I'm looking diagonally. I can factor out a 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Therefore, I can start this problem. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. So it becomes 1 over 3 times 3 over 4. And they're both, or ones, they're all positive. So 1 out of 3 times 3 over 4. And once again, I can factor out a 3 here. 3 divided by 3 is a 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 4 is 4. The product is 1 over 4, 1/4. Number 12, negative 4 over 7 times negative 3 over 5 times negative 7 over 3. This time, again, they want me to see, what I can do here. So both of these are negative, so it's going to be positive. 4 times 3 is 12. 7 times 5 is 35. So I have positive 12 over 35. And I'm going to put that here. 12 over 35. And I'm going to be multiplying that times negative 7 over 3. Therefore, the product will be negative. Now, I can go diagonally and factor out numbers on both sides. So I can factor out a 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 35 divided by 7 is 5. I can factor out a 3 here. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. I'm multiplying a positive times a negative, therefore my product will be negative. 4 times 1 is 4. 5 times 1 is 5. And it's the simplest form, negative 4 over 5. Okay. So number 13, I'm multiplying a fraction times a whole number times a fraction. So when you're multiplying, it doesn't matter what order you multiply in or add in. But you do have to keep in mind you have a negative, a positive, and a positive. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to multiply the two fractions. I'm going to leave the 5 for last. Okay? Negative 1 over 8 times 2 over 3. Now I can factor out a 2 here. So I'll do that. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now I just multiply straight across. 1 times 1 equals negative 1. 4 times 3 equals 12. Now don't forget, we had this whole number back here. So I have negative 1 over 12. And I'm going to turn that whole number into a fraction. And this time there's nothing I can do. I can't modify it. So it's going to be a negative. 1 times 5 is 5. 12 times 1 is 12. So 5 over 12. And that's in its simplest form. And the last one I have here, negative 2 over 3 times 1 over 2 times a negative 6 over 7. So I'm going to go ahead here and factor out this 2. It'll turn that into a 1. 1 times 1 is 1, times 6 is 6. 3 times 7 is 21. And I multiplied a negative and a positive, which gave me a negative. Negative times a negative, so it's going to be a positive 6 over 21. Now, I don't know how many of you may have noticed this, but I had this 3 and the 6 here, and I could have factored out that 3. I chose not to, but here I'm going to do that. I'm going to divide both the top and the bottom by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2 over 7. Two over 7. Now we have a word problem. I notice many of you skip these word problems. Please don't. So I've got my handy dandy little highlighter here. The price of 1 share of Acme Company declined $3.50 for 4 days in a row. So if it declines, that means it's a negative. So let me write down the expression, negative 3.50 times 4. And I'm going to put this in the typical standard multiplication problem times 4. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 5 is 20. Put a 0 there, a 2 there. 4 times 3 is 12, and 2 more is 14. And it's going to be a negative $14. So the cost for 1 share in the 4 days went down $14. Okay? In 1 day, 18 people withdrew $100 from an ATM machine. What was the overall change in the amount of money in the ATM machine? Okay. 18 times negative 100, because remember, they're withdrawing. Now, you multiply a number times 10, you add a 0. You multiply a number times 100, you add 2 zeros. So it's going to be negative $1,800. Okay? Negative $1,800. And finally, we come to question 17. Explain how you can find the product of 2 or more rational numbers. So, so we have done all of these problems this morning. I'm going to let you answer 17 on your own. And I want it answered. And it says explain. That means you have to put in words what you do, how you multiply, or how you can find the sign of the product of 2 or more rational numbers. We had several like that. Okay? So we're going to stop here. And once again, the code word is together. Together.